Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are witnessing a very special moment here. This is a short squeeze that has been happening and it is still happening right now. What is a short squeeze and what does this have to do with the altcoin season that is about to happen here? In my opinion, okay, so a short squeeze is basically when shorts are getting liquidated and they have to buy back their positions, and that basically puts buying pressure on the market, which we are seeing right now. I talked about this pattern yesterday. It's the falling wedge pattern. Price target for this pattern. This is for Bitcoin. Why is this important? It's because this is the driver of the crypto markets. Okay, if it pumps, very good for the altcoins, and if it dumps, well, that's going to be very bad. But today is finally, it looks like it's finally going to be the day where it's the breakout to all-time highs here. We're witnessing this right now live, okay? Price target was 108.5, 108.4. Way beyond that right now. As you guys can see, we're at 109.5. Let's see if it's actually able to break that 110k level with a clean break. I have actually just opened a long position leverage into an altcoin. I don't usually buy breakouts because it's risky, but today I think this is going to be a clean breakout here. Okay, we're going to explore the charts on why I think that is, what I think could happen today, and we're going to also get into some altcoin setups here, which will include Zebec Network, ZBCN, Polkadot, SEI. See what's going on in these markets. Since the last time we've talked about it, it's going to be a great day today, very likely, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look into some major crypto news first. Let's turn away from the charts just a little bit, okay? So right here, despite Cointelegraph, Bitcoin squeezes shorts in a 108k spike as U.S. jobs drop most in 2 years. Now, I'm not really sure what the jobs data was that came out today, but it sounds bad for the job market. I also checked the CME FedWatch tool, which I've been talking about. It's been very accurate. Okay, for the past couple of years, I've been using this. Now it seems like July 2020, this month here, the Fed's probability of easing, of lowering rates, has actually just jumped by about, I think, about 4 or 5% here. Okay, so it looks like what this piece of news here is pretty accurate. Probably the jobs dropped, and unemployment is gonna put pressure on the Fed to lower rates. Okay, so if you guys want to get into more details of this piece here, you guys can. I pulled this from TradingView. Next piece, news BTC, public firms snag 131,000 Bitcoin, surpassing ETFs in Bitcoin purchases. That sounds very bullish for Bitcoin, as you know, that's less Bitcoin on the market. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on to the next piece here. This is by the block. Nothing new under the sun. Analysts sees subdued crypto summer despite potential Trump trade volatility and looming policy deadlines. I think this analyst is probably wrong because I see a pretty hot summer coming for crypto. Mainly because not only did we see a increase in probability of the Feds lowering rates for July, but if we actually come to September here, I know that the CME Watch tool is not as accurate in predicting a Fed rate cuts that's more than a month away, but we're at 95% here, and this is a huge jump from 80%, even just about a week or two ago. So I mean, I think the market is actually getting ready for September here, if not July. Okay, but who knows? There could be more bad economic data that comes out, or good economic data such as inflation easing that would help the Fed to decide on lowering rates. But I think right now we're looking at September, and I think the market could be baking that in right now for the summer. Okay, so I think this analyst is wrong. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next piece here. Cointelegraph. Bitcoin traders adopt defensive stance as 15-day ETF inflow streak ends. Look, I never really paid attention to the ETF inflow streak because I've seen times when the inflow streak was on a roll, was looking strong, but Bitcoin still not moving. Well, and interesting enough, we're seeing this piece of news here as that inflow streak ends, we're seeing Bitcoin pumping. So that tells me this metric is it's not the way it seems. Like if the inflow is strong, it doesn't necessarily correlate to some really good bullish price action in the market here. So probably not as simple as it sounds. Okay, it's worth a deeper dive, but it's not a piece of data I use, right? If you guys have any insights on this, you guys can let me know in the comment section below. Okay, next one. Cointelegraph. KBC Bank to offer Bitcoin Ether to retail customers reports. So KBC Bank is one of Belgium's largest financial institutions. Well, that's great. I think that's bullish for Bitcoin. But Belgium is, I mean, it's a smaller country, so I'm not sure what kind of impact that would be, but it definitely sounds bullish, at least given whatever impact that it can make, right? Now let's go ahead and come to the charts here. This is a beautiful chart here. This is a short squeeze, which is basically liquidating the shorts. If the shorts were opened at about 108K, which I know that from the last couple of pieces of news that a lot of short sellers actually did that, they're getting liquidated right now. And it's painful because I've been on that end of the squeeze. But right now, I am on the winning end of the squeeze here. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are too because you guys are bulls, right? I've been saying let's take a look here. Let's zoom out into the daily time frame. Okay, daily time frame. I've been talking about this falling wedge pattern. Okay, it looks like it's trying to break out right now, right? And you guys can see that the price target is going to be about 120K Bitcoin. Okay, what is also the significance of that 120K price target? It's also because that would take Bitcoin out of this huge cup and handle on the weekly time frame we've been talking about, and we've been trying to break out of it. Okay, and while we have been in it, price action has been very boring for the altcoins. 110K clean break is what I'm looking for, right, to take us out of this 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 terrible pattern here. It's a bullish pattern, but while Bitcoin was in it, the altcoins have been getting very little love. Okay, so this is basically what I'm looking at. If we actually break out of this cup and handle here, price target for Bitcoin is about 145K. Of course, if Bitcoin gets there to 145K, which I think very likely it will, then I will chart the pattern for you guys if it consolidates around that price level. Okay, um, and then we'll see what happens from there. Will it continue going up, or will it pull back from there for for a little bit? Let's take a look into stock market just real quick. It has high correlation with Bitcoin. That's why it's important. Still going. Looks like it's invalidating that bearish divergence on the weekly time frame so far. Okay, let's come over here to altcoins. ZBCN, Zebec network. I have some of this. Okay, I am on leverage on this. For a long position, I had it open since it was about 0.0042. So let's see what Zebec network could be doing right now. Gonna wait for TradingView to load here. Okay, so talked about this falling wedge pattern. It usually breaks to the upside. Okay, price targets if it actually breaks to the upside. It looks like it's trying today. If it actually breaks the upside today, I'm looking at a price target of about 0.6, about 0.645 cents price target. Like I said, price targets are estimates only. It could be more, it could be less. And what I'm saying here is purely my opinions and speculations only. None of what I'm saying here is financial advice. I have quite a bit of these longs in the markets right now, including Bitcoin and quite a bit of altcoins across the board. So I am, I am inherently bullish right now until I tell you guys I'm changing my opinion, and I'll tell you guys why. Right, but right now I'm still bullish until the end of this year. Now let's take a look into a smaller time frame here. Zebec network. If we actually take a look into a smaller time frame here, 4-hour time frame, it looks like we're trying to get a solid 4-hour candle close above this pattern here. Okay, so very important to be seeing right now because it could be on the verge of a breakout. Of course, a lot of this is going to depend on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin comes back around, okay, which I think there's still a small risk that it does, then these altcoin setups are going to get hammered, right? You're going to see fake outs, but I think Bitcoin's looking pretty good right now. Of course, small chance that it comes back around. I can never be 100% bullish or bearish. As a trader, I have to see both sides of reality, right? So this is basically what I'm looking at for Zebec network. Is trying to break out. If it does, like I said, we're looking at a price target of about 0.6, just right underneath 0.65 cents here. Polkadot. Let's see what's going on with Polkadot here. Weekly time frame. Weekly time frame for Polkadot. I'm gonna wait for my chart to load here. And it is still running within this falling wedge pattern. Okay, it broke out of a smaller one from within the bigger falling wedge pattern. Now, falling wedge patterns, you guys definitely got to get to know, okay, because it usually means that it's going to break back out to the upside. Now, price target for the smaller falling wedge pattern for Polkadot is still $10. If it breaks out of this bigger one, it's going to be about $20, almost $20 Polkadot. Okay. Now, if we actually come back down here and take a look into Polkadot here on a smaller time frame, even we have a smaller falling wedge pattern. So 3 falling wedge patterns here. The smallest one here looks like it's trying to break out. Okay, if it does, price target is going to be about $4.60 if it breaks out by this point. If it doesn't and this thing breaks down, then we're going to come back here and rechart the pattern and see what's going on with Polkadot. Let's go to SEI and see what's going on with this market. All right. All right, TradingView is kind of taking its time today. All right, so SEI on the weekly time frame. I talked about this falling wedge pattern, still running within its price target. We're going to move the measure move down along the upper trend line here because it doesn't look like it's going to break out by that point. It's only an estimate, okay? $1.25 SCI if it breaks out by this point. If it doesn't, move the measure move along the upper trend line if the pattern is still intact. Now there was a smaller falling wedge within this bigger one as well, and the price target for that would be about 59 cents SEI. Let's zoom into the daily time frame to get more clarity on what could be going on. Talked about this pattern here last time. Small falling wedge pattern. Again, there's 3 falling wedge patterns here, okay? The smallest one, price target was about 26 cents. It broke out and price action kept going up till about 34 cents. What could SCI be doing right now? Now, it hasn't formed any particular pattern here, but I did get a validated upward trend line, okay? So, very important for SCI to break this upward trend line if you don't want to see any more downside, because if it doesn't break this upward trend line here, chances are it could be developing some type of a falling wedge pattern that could look something like this, because it could still come back and retest some of these moving averages on the daily time frame, right? So if you want to see more upside on the short term, you definitely want to see SCI break this upper trend line. Otherwise, it could develop some type of falling wedge pattern. Okay, it's still hypothetical, right? So that's basically what I'm seeing for these altcoins. Just keeping it short today. Let me know if you guys want to see any more of these altcoins by liking, subscribing, and commenting. Also, let me know if you guys want to see any other altcoins in the market. I'll pick one request to do for you guys on a daily basis. That's it for this video. I'll see you guys on the next one.